I'll sit at art shows and I'll have my work up on the wall, and people will walk by and they'll look at it and they'll go, oh, pop art. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can do that on the computer. And they'll take a step closer and they'll go, something's weird about that. And then they'll take a step closer and then they'll realize it's handwriting, and they'll take a step closer and they'll read it, and then they'll realize it's a script. And in that moment, I see them go, oh my God. And then they turn and look at me and they go, oh my God. And I go, yep. And that's the aha moment. That's when it all clicks together. That's what I want the viewer to understand. And I love it. My name is Mike Matola, and I handwrite script art. I handwrite out full movie scripts to create portraits of the people. I try to find an image that will really pop with people, something that people are going to recognize from afar. So usually a still or a picture from the movie. I did a commission once for an action movie, and it was horrible. Action movie scripts are the worst. It was just writing things like, do you know what's at stake? And get down over and over again. And I wanted to kill myself. But then I get to do movies like The Princess Bride, and that's fantastic. It's based off of an amazing book. I got to transcribe the screenplay into the Princess Bride print that I made, and it's just so rewarding. So a lot of times I'm just trying to find something I like and that you like too. It's kind of, that's kind of how it works. And then what I do is I drop it into Photoshop and I kind of find the relief of it, the shadows, the lights, the darks, and I trace around that so I can kind of make a stencil. Once I have the stencil, I place that underneath a layout bond. It's kind of like a thinner drafting paper, and I use just a normal pen. And then after that, I handwrite out, dot matrix style, left to right, the entire script. Usually takes anywhere from 8 working hours to 6 months, depending on the piece. I think the longest one I've ever done it took a year to finish. It's just work. One of my most challenging prints I ever did was I hand wrote out the entire script to My Neighbor Totoro in the original Japanese. There was a point where I was getting really good at this. I had the determination, I had the discipline. I thought, where do I go from here? What is something that's gonna make people say, my God, that guy is crazy? It took me over 6 months because I do not speak Japanese. This one might be one of my most favorite because it was so difficult. I didn't know how long it was gonna take. I didn't know if it was gonna work, but I knew if I just shaved a little bit off every night, it would eventually get done, and it did. I don't even remember doing it. I think I blacked out for most of it. A lot of times I'll get it to fit. A lot of times these are the full script. I think in 1 or 2 cases, it's like half the script or a third of the script. I did Pulp Fiction. That's the first act because they talk a lot in that film. No one ever asked me if it's too short. A lot of times, sometimes movies will be too short and I'll just kind of double up the ending again so it comes out perfectly square. People always ask me also, what do I do if I make a mistake? Keep going. Say la vie. What do you do in life when you make a mistake? Just keep going, right? You don't throw away your life. Come on. A lot of people ask me about what I do with the originals. Sometimes I sell them, sometimes I keep them just rolled up in a tube. Sometimes I rip them up, throw them away. I don't really care. It's just art. I love it. I guess I've always written small. When this first started happening, it kind of got into like a bigger thing. My mom just offhandedly said, oh, I'm so glad you finally found something to do with your small writing. So I guess I've been doing this forever. For me, it's just been normal, but I can write very, 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 very tiny. I don't think that makes me unique so much as maybe kind of a weirdo. I don't know. We'll see. How did I get started doing this? I needed a birthday gift for a friend of mine. And so I hand wrote out every Radiohead album to make a portrait of Tom York. And my friend loved it. And she was like, this is amazing. And more friends were like, can you make me one? I was like, yeah, of course. And then more friends were like, can you make me one? And I was like, yes. And then more friends were like, can you make me one? And I was like, okay, hold on. This is a thing. I need to figure, okay, this might be a thing. Let's figure this out. I mean, and that's it. How does anything get started though, right? It's always this, no one ever plans anything really. Mostly just blindsides you on an idle Tuesday. So one of my favorites is the Ghostbusters print that I made, and for a couple reasons. Number one, I love the just placement and how it came out, almost like graphic design wise. I mean, I got the bottom third. I use the scene where they're in the elevator. People always ask me, why isn't Ernie Hudson in it? It's because he's not part of the Ghostbusters yet. My apologies. I know he's a very important Ghostbusters. This is the scene where they're in the elevator when they're first trying out their proton packs. It's funny, I've noticed no one knows what I'm doing until I get to someone's eyes. Once I pass the eye line, they're like, oh, Bill Murray. Oh, Dan Aykroyd. Oh, you're doing Ghostbusters. I call it the aha moment. I like to do faces because it's amazing how little detail you need for your brain to put together a face. That's Dan Aykroyd. You can tell it's Dan Aykroyd. I can tell it's Dan Aykroyd. I don't know why. It's kind of a mess. I barely have his nose shadows, his eyebrows. He's kind of scowling. When was the last time you even studied Dan Aykroyd's face? You couldn't, but here it is. Our brains can do it. I find that fascinating. The level of detail and information just all smashed together to make these portraits. It's so much fun. Out of all of the pieces I've made, I think one of my most favorites might be Jurassic Park. Now, for a plethora of reasons, I love the movie. It's one of the first ones I did that wasn't quite a portrait. It's of the dinosaur and Grant with the flare. I love the little flare gradient. That was my wife's idea. I was in here working on it and she was like, you need to keep that in there. I was like, oh my God, okay. And the script is so tight. The scene where you're riding a theme park ride that explains the theme park to you, and we're watching that in a movie to get all the information so we can accurately watch the movie. That's several pages of dialogue that they just zip through. You don't even remember that, do you? The dino DNA scene. That's just a blip in it, but it's a huge chunk of information that the filmmakers were able to just effortlessly float by you so you can just really immerse yourself in the movie. I was able to end on the line when Grant says, Malcolm was right, life found a way. Which I think is just, absolutely stunning, especially for such a print, right? How were you able to do this? I don't know. Life finds a way, doesn't it? See, this is what it is for hours. You're getting just a little bit of the B-roll, but this is it. It's just quiet and I'm working. It's like, it's so unsatisfying if you're not doing it. So one thing people don't ever quite understand is that I actually get to read the scripts while I'm doing this. They always think it's this tremendous amount of work, which it is, but I actually get to sit and process what I'm working on. I get to watch the movie extremely slowly in my mind. Every piece of dialogue, every movement I get to internalize and really think about. No, I am not a fast writer. I literally, probably write slower than you. There is absolutely nothing special about me. It's really just work that I enjoy. You can do this at home. Do it at home. Message me if you need any help. I want so many more people to do things like this. You'll learn so much about your favorite movies, you'll learn so much about yourself, and you'll learn so much about just how far you can push yourself. It's a beautiful thing. Art is a process. I believe it's something that you do. Art is a verb. It's the craftsmanship, it's the journey. And it's amazing how we celebrate literally the least important part of art, the finished product. That's the most worthless part. It's doing art. It's coming up with an idea. It's seeing if you can accurately portray it for others. So when they look at it, they can feel the same way you felt when you came up with the idea. That's what artwork is. I mean, the end result that sells for millions and trillions and billions of dollars or what have you is inherently worthless. If you really want to experience a painting, do it yourself. Paint it, try it. Literally find a Picasso and see if you can't replicate it. Go get some paints. Feel what Picasso might have been feeling. See if you can't study the brush strokes, the randomness, the specific ones. Sketch it out. That's art. This stuff, these posters, these what have you, it's just icing on the cake. Your tools do not have to be fancy to make art. It's a common misconception. I think it's the lazy carpenter who blames his tools. You guys, please visit my website, www.linebylineposters.com, for all the posters. And let me know what your line by line is. Tell me what your favorite movie is. I need the ideas. I get my ideas from all of you guys. I've learned so much just from you. What's your line by line? Also, if you guys love this video and so much more, subscribe to the Wizard of Odd TV. Just hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and hope to see you out there.